Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. What are the best examples of this that you know of? 1. My coworker, Jim, was delivering products to a company we work with often. The guy at the other company was complaining about the products and insisting Jim had made mistakes. He then pulls out a manual he had and starts walking Jim through it, explaining everything he did wrong. The manual was a step-by-step guide to the variety of products, complete with drawings and a bunch of pictures of a young man with a working on the parts. Jim finally stops the guy, points to one of the pictures and says, "Do you see that name tag on this guy? Jim? I am Jim. I wrote this manual 20 years ago. 2. My kids know I'm a gamer, but I trend towards RPGs. A decade ago, my oldest was really into this new game he and his friends got for the Xbox, Street Fighter 5. He had a bunch of friends over and they were doing the usual mid-teens trash talking and competitive one-upmanship when I came home from work. Hey dad, we're having a tournament. You wanna play? What game? Street Fighter? Yeah, I think I've heard of it. As in, yeah, I played in SFII arcade tournaments back in the early 90s daily. I wasn't godlike, but I could hold my own with said godlike players most times. He and his friends proceed to bet me that if I win, they'll mow the yard and do yard work for a week. If I lose, I have to buy them pizza. You know what, kids? There's a lot of characters. Why don't you pick one for me? Oh, 6 attack buttons? Nah, I'll just use one. I'm old and my RSI is acting up. Which one do I use? Oh, okay, this is the jab? Alright, I proceeded to annihilate every one of them. Didn't matter which character or which single button I was allowed to use. Bye, itch. I've got that frame data tattooed in my DNA. Now go get on my lawn. It's been a standing tradition over the years for my kids to introduce their new friends to dad by seeing if anyone can beat my Street Fighter one-button blind character pick Kung Fu. Still undefeated. 3. My old boss was in a meeting with one of his master's students in our coffee room. The student corrects him a couple of times with information from the textbook. Eventually, my boss gently says, "Yes, I know it says that in the book. And back when we wrote it, that's what we believed to be the case. However, the field has moved on in the past couple of decades, and we now understand it to be as I was explaining it to you." 4. When I was in graduate school, I wrote a Wikipedia article on a species I was co-authoring a paper on. I also did a class project in genetics on the same species, which wasn't related to the publication. I got fine marks on the class paper, but the professor chided me for not describing all the interesting things known about the species for background. He told me I could start by just reading the Wikipedia article. 5. I have to write employee accomplishment documents to move them forward in their career. They have to go before a HR review board that decides if the document is written properly and justifies the change, a raise and more vacation, for the staff member. I've been doing this for years so I can crank out these documents in my sleep. A new HR person joined the company and started kicking back my documents for arbitrary bullcrap, not enough content, too much irrelevant information, needs more insight, etc. After the 3rd time one of my documents got kicked back, the reviewer emailed me an example of what she considered a well-written employee accomplishment document with the names redacted. I emailed her back, "Thanks for sending me this example. It helps a lot. Since I wrote this example 3 years ago, is it okay if I just fill in the current staff's name?" 6. When my 13-year-old cousin asked if I even knew what a meme was. Like, look here, you little fug, I've been on the internet since Newgrounds, don't you dare talk to me about memes. 7. I was training a new file clerk at my firm and explaining the system we have for checking out physical files. We have asset tags with scannable barcodes that you must scan after presenting your ID badge to log who took the file and is ultimately responsible for it. She turns to me and says, "God, whoever came up with this is an anal retentive nightmare and all you need is a sign-out sheet." I just kind of stood there because I developed this system after years of having to dig through attorneys' offices and hunt down important stuff because they ignored the sign-out sheet that was there when I got hired. Sigh. 8. I'm 33. A 10-year-old mentioned Pikachu in conversation and then backtracked and started trying to explain what Pokemon is. 9. When my 19-year-old colleague started discussing this new film franchise he'd found to me, 41 Degrees Fahrenheit, and explained it used to be a TV show on something called MTV. The franchise he was talking about was Jackass. 10. My teenage kid in 2005-ish was telling us, "I just found this cool new band, Sweet." Who? The Red Hot Chili Peppers. They just put out their first album. Boy, you were probably conceived to Red Hot Chili Peppers.